to enter the value in this array at the declaration time. Okay. Oh, what was that now? See, this value 1221 represents the value that will go in this column, in this cell rather. The marks of the student and the roll number of the next value represents the roll number of the student. 1221 are the marks of roll number 56. Similarly, 1212 are the marks of student roll number 33. 1434 are the marks obtained by roll number 80, and 1321 are the marks obtained by roll number 78. So cleanly we have entered the marks here, and we have entered the roll numbers in the second column. So this is a two-dimensional array where we are trying to store the marks of the student and as well as the roll number of the student simultaneously in one array. Fine. If we were also to store the say grade of the student, or if we were also to store the say CGPA or percentage of the student, then what would we do? We would perhaps declare another dimension to this and call it as an array student having 4 students, fine, and 3 columns. Now why 3 columns? Because in the third column here, now what we will try to do is, in the third column here, we would try to store the percentage of the student. Okay. So in this column, we will try to store the percentage of the student. So now we are going to have 3 columns. We have 4 rows and we have 3 columns now. If we also now want to store the along with the percentage, say the CGPA of the student or the number of subjects in which the student is enrolled, we will accordingly have 4 columns or 5 columns or 6 columns. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional array. What have we seen till now? We have seen what a two-dimensional array looks like. It is a matrix basically. We have also seen how to initialize the values in a two-dimensional array. We have also seen how to enter the values using for loop. Okay, now like the one-dimensional array, if we declare a two-dimensional array and declare it and give it values like maybe 45 and this, okay, this will not work. Why? Because we have not given the number of columns here. If instead we give the number of columns and we omit the number of rows, this is perfectly okay. This is perfectly okay. If we give the number of rows and also the number of columns, even this is okay. Fine. If we give the number of columns only, that is okay. If we give the number of columns and number of rows, even that would work. But if we would try to give only the row and not the column, that is not going to work. Also, if we are trying to give neither the row nor the column, in that case also it is not going to work even if we give all the values. Why? Because the compiler will in this case not come to know how to divide the data, how many columns and how many rows are there. So the compiler needs to have the value of the columns at least, and it will deduce the number of rows itself, but not vice versa, and it will not reduce the number of rows and columns by itself if you give neither of the values. Fine. So this is how a two-dimensional array will work. This is how a two-dimensional array is going to be initialized, and this is how the two-dimensional array will generate an error if we do not give both the dimensions to it. Now, let us try to make a simple program using 2D array. As an exercise, write down a program that will probably take the input as the marks of the student in one subject and the marks of the student in the second subject. And it has to output the marks of the student in first subject and the marks of the student in second subject, and store these the result or the total of these two in a separate array. Fine. So what we are going to do here is we are going to take two arrays. We are going to take two arrays, the array student and the array. Let me show it to you here. So we will take the loop variables and we will take an array marks for say 5 students. Okay. Marks in English, marks in English, marks in maths. So we need 2 columns. 5 is the number of rows indicating how many students are there. 2 is the number of columns indicating for how many subjects are we going to enter the marks. Fine. We will take another array, say total. Fine. And this array total, again 5 students and 1 column only indicating the total of the students. Okay. So this is how. Let us try to first of all enter the marks of the students in the array marks. So I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to 4, and we will increment the variable. Okay. We will try to enter the marks of the student. Sorry. Marks I. Now, how are we going to rotate this? How are we going? We have rotated this variable I from 0 to 4. So for 5 students, the row thing is going to be incremented every time. How do we increment the column and how do we come back to the column? We will use a nested for loop using another looping variable j. J starts from 0 and j will end at j is less than equal to 1 because we have only 2 columns. Okay. Marks of I, j. Now this is important here. We are for the first time seeing how do we rotate both the row and the column. Okay. We have entered the marks in this section. We have entered the marks of the first student, fine, in let us say English and in mathematics. Fine. Now, what are we now supposed to do? We are now supposed to add these marks. Okay, we are now supposed to add these marks. Let us try to add these marks in a separate. Again, we are what we have to do is we have to simply replicate this for loop here and total of I j is equal to total of ij is equal to marks of I j. Fine. So this is how we will do it. The most important thing about two-dimensional array is that a two-dimensional array behaves like a matrix and is able to store data as we store in case of a table. For 2D arrays, we will stop here. You can post me your questions in chat, in mail, and I shall respond accordingly.